point, I know it's probably a little bit deeper when the season gets here, but at what point do you kind of look at your running backs room, and I know injuries can play a part too, but determine who may play this year or who may redshirt?
Yeah, I think it's play them all in the beginning. If they can help us on the field and they're physically ready to go and mentally ready to go, we're going to play those guys. And then, kind of as it wears along after the out-of-conference games, kind of how are they performing and how are they executing. But right now, from top to bottom, I have 6 guys. I'm actually picking up a 7th guy, another kind of preferred walk-on guy this week. But the 6 guys we have in our room right now, I feel good about all those guys, playbook-wise, and the effort that they're giving. Obviously, the top 2 guys have been kind of head and shoulders, doing what they're supposed to be doing and making some plays for us. So excited about that. And then bringing up those 2 young guys and the 2 older junior college guys we have been fantastic through camp as well.
How have Hargrove and Price handled camp and picking the offense up?
Yeah, they're freshmen. So, Woody had a chance last year to come in mid-year, and Dylan was in a good room too. A lot of competition, so those guys came along pretty quick. I think Simeon's really a high football IQ guy, so he's stays late in meetings, asks a lot of good questions. Picking up now, it's just a matter of doing it fast on the field. Bull, kind of the same thing. Can give you all the answers to the plays. Now it's just a matter of executing fast, and when he plays fast, he's pretty fast.
With Woody and Dylan, some of the leadership that they maybe stepped up with, having some more experience. Do you see guys like Price and Hargrove kind of mimicking that a little bit? Do you see parts of Woody in what they do as well?
Yeah, they're already making nicknames for the young guys, which is they're not that old to do that, but you gotta let it eat a little bit, So we got little Woody, because Bull's wearing number 21, and that kind of thing. So they're kind of poking fun at each other, but they're 2 great examples to have. Dylan brings a lot of energy and they're really charismatic. So he's got that, and Woody is as a professional, does it by example. So really a good combination of those 2 guys are the ones that are, kind of spearheading our running back room. So it's 2 good role models to have in there.
What have you thought of the pass blocking overall from the guys that you have?
Yeah. So that's one thing to do with the freshmen too. That's probably the last piece, to kind of follow back on that question is to make sure they can go in there and stand up a blitzing linebacker. But both the young guys are willing to do that. So now it's just my job to coach them up, make sure the technique's right, make sure they're bringing all they have. But as far as the first 2 guys go, been impressive, from year 1 to year 2 of those guys taking on our linebackers, and our linebackers are pretty good blitzers themselves. So if they can block them, I'm pretty confident.
Particularly with Woody, what's the biggest stride that maybe he's made from year 1 to year 2 when you've watched him this summer?
Yeah, I think he packed on some pounds. So Woody last year was a little more of the flashier, kind of slasher, a little more dynamic. But now he can run through some people. Then Dylan kind of the opposite, a little more of the pounder. But now all of a sudden he can make some people miss in space, and his burst looks a little bit better. So they both had a mission in the offseason to kind of improve on some things. I think they both did that.
Was there a moment you saw them and you're like, oh, they really put in work? Was there a moment that it kind of clicked for both of them in your eyes?
I think it just kind of happens. It's just a process and day by day, and then kind of us being away in the summertime when you come back. I think too Woody looked like he got stung by a bee a little bit. He kind of swole up a little bit, and then Dylan all of a sudden when you start putting the pads back on and he's kind of outrunning some people, or guys coming up with air on a tackle. That's how it's supposed to look now. Yeah.
When you put a guy on a scout team, at this point everybody's the same, and then all of a sudden we get in a game week and you've got to make some difficult decisions. How do you communicate that to them, and also to keep them bought in and make them understand there could be a situation where they could get elevated later in the season?
Sure. No, that's always a tough one, but at any time, right? Anytime 4 or 5, 6 running backs can play in a season easily, especially in the SEC. So when they go down there, you guys need to impress the defensive coaches. I watch every stitch of that film as well. You start making plays there, you can start earning yourself some reps with the ones. And then the ones up there, those jobs aren't permanent either, right? So you're not there, you're not performing, you're taking plays off. That's an easy, we're going to swap you back and forth. And as far as the young guys go, I'll meet with them extra, kind of during the week, because they want to get the same meeting time they get with that older group to kind of meet with the scout team. But I'll make some time where I kind of, meet with them, make sure they know the game plan, what the playbook looks like, so they don't kind of lose the grasp that they've gained at this point. So it's all about competition, right? You can't take that personal, and if you don't like where you're at on the depth chart, then do something about it and make a difficult choice for us as the coaches.
How frequent are those meetings with the young guys?
Yeah, just probably an extra 1 meeting a week. We're just one-on-one where you can really sit down and make sure that they're grasping all that. They have Thursday night football, something we do in the stadium, full pad scrimmage. So that'll be a big deal for them. So I'll probably meet with them on Thursdays and make sure that they, remember all the plays for that week, and they're executing at a high level, and we'll be out there evaluating them too.
Coach, we've seen a lot of different guys take turns at kickoff returner. I know things can change week to week, but you expect any of your your backs to be involved in a return game?
I look back there and I think my whole crew's back there. So I imagine somebody will besides Tulu. Certainly at the off returner position, we have 3 of our guys rotating at the off returner position, and then at primary too. I guess those top 2 guys are in the depth chart there as well. So really, those guys with the ball in their hands are good players and they're good blockers. So I encourage that, and hopefully all 6 of my guys are on the bus playing special teams.
Finally starting to kind of wind down fall camp, head towards game week, and obviously getting into the stadium there for a real game. I mean, what's the excitement like for you guys to be done with this phase of it and get ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a little older, I guess. I want more practices. I want to make sure we're sharp, but it's exciting. It's exciting to kind of the transition this week too. We kind of move into the more of a kind of a game week phase instead of fall camp. So now it's starting to get a little bit more real, But now the stakes raise a little bit. Now the practice has to be better. You have to elevate your play and less mistakes and higher execution and that kind of thing. But it'll be exciting. We came last year too, and we didn't get all the cowbells, so I'm ready to hear the cowbells myself.
I think we saw a few snaps in the scrimmage where you guys would have split backs, 2 blacks in the backfield. Do you envision that happening a lot during the season?
I do, and for all the other teams out there listening, we're going to be running the ball every time out of that pass set, or it's a great passing set for us, and it also gives us an extra hat in the run game. So it makes it a little versatile for us and 2 of our better players on the field. We got another set that we kind of, I don't know if they've seen it yet or not either, but again, both backs will be on the field, so they can play an empty. They can do a lot of different stuff for us. So that'll be a nice little wrinkle for this year.
Just in general, from where you guys are 2 weeks out from a game this year compared to last year, 2 weeks out from a game. I mean, how playbook-wise? I mean, how much better is this team right now?
I mean, no comparison on that. I mean, no spring football, no fall camp. Last year, you're trying to get guys lined up and execute plays. So now it's some of the questions you've already asked about guys breaking people down, the defenders on the second level, and making people miss and breaking tackles and little things. Execution of the pass protection instead of just understanding that's the guy off the block. Now actually, trying to put him on his back, that type of thing. So, I mean, leaps and bounds when it comes to the playbook.